If you're a woman and you're running the London Marathon in just under 3 weeks, then this is the video for you. It's about that time where we start looking for motivation and inspiration everywhere, and I feel like we all need to know this. 55 years ago, women were not allowed on any start line in the world to line up officially to run a marathon race. That's not that long ago. It's actually distressing how not long ago that was. In 1972, women were finally allowed to run again after the ban on long distance running was lifted, which was kind of crazy to begin with because the ban started at the Amsterdam Olympics, where they finally allowed women to run track and field. They did 5 events. The max distance was 800 meters, but it caused such a commotion because people were like, the women were collapsing over the finish line for 800 meters, that they were like, nope, that's it, women cannot run long distance, like that's a ban. And that ban stayed in place for 30 plus years until 1972, when women were finally allowed to compete in the marathons. It wasn't until 1981 that the London Marathon had its inaugural event, and because the ban had already been lifted, women were able to run and be on that start line. Amazing. Women only made up 4 to 5% of competitors who ran that first London Marathon. Do you want to know how many women make up the start numbers this year of the London Marathon? 49.55%. That is the estimated amount of women who will be lining up to run the London Marathon in just under 3 weeks' time. That is pretty incredible to have gone from 4 to 5% in 1981 to now in 2026 be in kissing distance of 50-50%, an equal split. I think that's absolutely incredible. I feel so proud to live in an era where I am not fighting for my right to run as a woman in these races. You know, these incredible female athletes before, like the 6 USAT or the 1972 marathon in New York. Like, there are so many people who have fought for our right to run, essentially, and now I get to live in an era where not only am I allowed to run in these races, but we've got initiatives like She Runs, who are encouraging sanitary products to be held in race portaloos. We're trialing female urinals. I used one at a recent race and was like, this is revolutionary. I mean, you balance the less queue time for the more pee on like your carbon shoes, but that's by the by. And I just feel like that is something that I'm going to feel really proud of when I step onto the start line in 3 weeks' time at London, to be like, I'm here, I'm running this race, and I'm getting to do this for all the women who, prior to 1972, like Catherine Switzer, who was the famous lady who infiltrated the Boston Marathon by entering under a pseudonym 7 years before the ban was lifted. And there's all these women who had that calling to run, like we have that calling to run, and they were not allowed to compete on these international stages, and now we're here, and I'm just an average person. I'm not an athlete, I'm just a person who loves to run and who got that feeling, that motivation, that inner something that told me to get out and run and find that mindfulness and find that beauty in moving my body, and I'm allowed to do that. It's amazing.